Death Watch.
Okay. So, Rafe had just returned and let you know that the Whitecloaks are coming from the direction you had set your bonfire, or your wood, sorry. He had time to get up onto a roof. Falk, you're already on a roof. Show you the map here.
It's a nice shirt. Thank you.
So, this is Aturo's orchard here, and you guys are down over this way, as they're coming from this direction.
Okay.
The women, children, and old folk are in the stone house up here.
Okay.
As Rafe had positioned archers in the woods on either side of this road leading up to that house. And were you going to have everybody up here, or just Falk and his group, and you guys were going to be further back? Or Rafe's group was going to be further back? How did you want to...
I don't know. I think we're a bit further out than I was thinking. I was thinking those four houses right... No, like...
No, over
here.
Yeah. That's where I was thinking we were going to be. If we're down that way...
Well, you can put it there if you want to.
Well,
I had assumed that you were putting it here.
It's probably for the better. We don't actually want to burn the village. Oh.
Yeah, I had imagined it was right after the split.
So, which path?
I think your finger's kind of going over
But
it.
in between the two trees.
Yeah.
Oh, in between.
But right after the road splits.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that they will have committed to be on that straight part of it.
It's looking like I might not be to be able within 130 feet and on a house at that distance. What do you say?
Okay.
An inch is 80 feet on
Right.
this map.
Okay.
So you've got...
Okay, I think
that's a good...
So yeah, you've got some space. Did you guys want to do anything to this road to block it, barricade it, anything?
Might as well do as much as we can to try to force a choke point.
Get a bunch of wagons overturned or pushed over, barrels with oil and toxic waste.
Okay. All right. So you're all in your hiding positions. You have a torch that's up on the rooftop with you that you can light your arrow with. And not long after Rafe comes back and tells you guys that the Whitecloaks are coming that direction, and you all take your positions, you hear the thundering of hooves. And...
Embrace Sayadar.
Okay. I'm going to treat this as if... And you guys will get not the surprise, but you could take and you'll have readied actions, essentially. Along with the villagers. So
what do we have in place to draw them down that road?
Me. So I'm going to mock them. And
So
everybody...
do we need the fire, or are you just going to kill them all?
Well, no, even I can't kill that many. Besides, the game session before last, you did a charge with the lance and did like an absolutely insane... You got a critical.
Yeah, you turned them to mist. It was almost massive. Or was it massive? It was close, I think.
Yeah,
like
it
40
those,
something.
Those
was some
lances
80
from
something,
horses
right?
while charging are insane.
Was it?
I thought he did like 80-something damage.
yeah, he did. You
it was massive
obliterated
then.
a guy, turned him to mist, essentially.
Thus, you are a changed man.
So now you are
You're the new
The
Choga.
terror that
the
rides.
Choga.
I think it's just whoever's in control of the game master.
Yeah, John.
Or the game master's in control of it.
Yeah, he did say that it was a critical, but could we see? No.
Nope.
I rolled that one right out here. Travis saw.
Yeah, I'm thinking you just tried to plant that memory in Travis's head.
Just because of what the game master is, it's always kind of, what is it, not cheating, but game master criticals are like a dime a dozen.
Yeah, it's true. I've thought to myself many times, okay, from now on, when I roll criticals against these guys, it's gonna be a critical. And I just can't bring myself to do it.
Really?
You guys would all be so dead so many times.
I usually roll higher, but I don't often roll.
Dude, I roll
Criticals?
so much when I'm the game master.
I always go for the critical.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm excited, but then they'll be like, "Oh, I have a pendant that absorbs critical damage." I'm like, "Damn it!"
I like it like
I need to find one of those.
when the critical's like a punctuation, like that one time in the D&D one where Gore busts through that door and he gets charged by like a ogre, and it like criticals him for like most of his life. I think it might have even downed him. If not, it was close. It was like 60 damage or something.
In what game?
Maximilian. We're going
yeah.
through a dungeon. We kick open a door and they're like all ready for us because we've been beating on this door for like 5 minutes.
I kind of liked how that crew
I had
was
to
like
use my-
a bunch of Energizer bunnies or something, because there was a lot of times you'd get downed,
Yeah.
and then one or the other you would be like, back at it.
Yeah.
And then you were kind of like walking dead towards the end there.
Yeah.
Right. The more close to death he was, the more damage.
I think he actually,
He was at
you had like
negative
rounds
80
you
hit
could go
points
or
at one
something
point,
like that
yeah.
in the negatives.
You couldn't get close to heal him. I mean, he would
Well, that's why I
destroy
had to
things.
take those special feats to
Yeah.
be able
Yeah.
to heal him from a
Justin
distance.
designed an entire character path just
No,
to,
like
Just
just so I could heal him and not die in the process.
what was my lowest negative? I think it was 150.
Yeah, it was way
I
down
remember it took like a 7th level heal to bring you back to not dying.
Yeah.
It was just like your armor animating around. A bunch of goo seeping out of the joints and stuff.
No, that's why I really like the visuals on that whole thing, because you'd get like Maximilian Ozeron, and they would just like, it was a chore for me to try to get close enough before they just turned everything into a mess.
Yeah.
Right. So,
God, that was so much fun.
yeah.
I think my absolute favorite one though was the post-fight. Like everybody clears out of town.
Oh yeah, everyone has to get outside his like 60-foot radius.
It
Yeah.
was like
I know.
you dimension door up somewhere. I can't remember what the rest of you
I
guys.
actually was working on getting. I can't remember what
Wasn't it like a hold person type
power
thing?
it was. No, it would have
Justin did
taken him.
That's right.
It would have sent him to a pocket dimension until he calmed down. I can't
That was
remember.
really it. I mean, our characters didn't so much gear up to fight things; we geared up to escape Maddox.
to survive Maddox and his 9-foot.
I like the fact I got arrested in that ship when we went down to the hold to fight the pseudo-natural lion or something, and we killed it no problem, and then I killed like half the crew.
Yeah, they're like, you're under arrest, dude. I wouldn't be trying to arrest somebody who did that.
And then John is invisible while we're sitting in that jail cell. Because he didn't get arrested because he went invisible, and he's like, I can just kill these guys and bust you out. We're like, no, they don't actually have anything on us. The crew that survived all said that they saw that weird beast, and we can just say it killed him.
Yeah, we were torn to pieces.
What good times.
And then shortly after that, we got out to sea and we get attacked by those crabs. And I pick it up and drag it onto the boat. It was like a couple tons is how much they weighed.
And then didn't you like use your spiked gauntlet and just punch it to death?
No, I knocked it out because I didn't have the spike gauntlet yet.
Oh.
After that, I was like, man, I'm just as dangerous
need a spike
grappled.
Yeah, it was like because the way that they would attack you negated your full blade. Like I guess they were grappling or something. Yeah.
Yeah, if they hit with an attack, they could pinch.
So you were just like, bam. So you get the crab out of the shell.
Did we eat them?
No,
Maybe.
we should have though. Bet that. Oh man, how does anyone go hungry in the D&D world? That would be so tasty. You could crawl inside it.
I don't think you had time because it was like kind of an odyssey journey across the sea.
Yeah, because we were after the aspect of Tiamat.
Yeah.
After she killed all but one of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are your villagers, and you have 2 woodsmen. And can you hand that to Falk? Those are yours. So you have 5 villagers, 2 woodsmen. They all have longbows. Villagers have no modifiers to their attack for the longbow, but the woodsmen do. If they're needed, I'll have you 2 run them since they're your crew there. Okay.
Which group is this?
That's the woodsman.
No, I mean, where are they located?
Oh, so that is with you. Whichever house you had gotten on. So
okay.
The fire is here. There's 3 houses over here that you can choose from. So
yeah,
whichever
just
one
the
you
closest
prefer.
one because I rode right into the closest one and.
Okay, we'll put you on this house here.
Okay.
A little bit more to the north. and then Falk will have you on this house here.
Okay.
Adina, do you want the tall house? Okay, and then Cho'Gath, you're standing in the road, correct? Okay.
On my horse.
Do you guys have any questions on the cheats for the villagers or woodsmen? I think I got all the information that you should need.
Yeah,
on
I
that.
think I got it.
Okay, did I put the hit points on the woodsman on yours, Travis?
Yeah, 21.
Good. Okay, so
You didn't meet Sebastian yet?
you hear the thundering of hooves as the Whitecloaks, dressed as Taraboner soldiers, come charging or galloping full speed down the muddy path with bits of mud flying everywhere. As they approach and see a lone person in the road, they grow excited and continue their charge directed at Cho'Gath.
Right. So I have my longbow out, and in order to provoke them, as soon as they're within 100 feet, I'm going to shoot at one of them, whoever's in the lead.
Okay, go ahead and take that. You see there's two. One is a tall, very muscular man. The other one is a slightly shorter, slender build. Right?
Okay. I'll shoot the short, slender one. Are
Okay.
they both in They're
They're all in
all in
Taraboner.
Taraboner? Okay.
Taraboner soldiers garb, and there's 12 Whitecloaks behind, or Taraboner soldiers behind them as well. So you just have two out in the front that have officers' insignias on.
Okay. 16 on the shorter one.
That is a miss.
Okay.
So Cho'Gath lets
shout
loose
out.
an arrow, streaks by.
I'll call them goat-kissing dark friends. And I'll say
If you
that...
hit someone in the back, actually, right behind them.
With your insult.
Oh, with the arrow, I mean, you're shooting in that direction.
That hurts.
Yeah, I know. We've never used those rules before, but hey, I'll take it.
I
Well, it's a pretty tight path.
I know Bodhi used them all the time.
Yeah,
Roscoe
yeah.
put more bolts into Willow
Yeah.
than he did the enemy.
That became a thing.
So you miss your intended target, but your arrow does hit one of the horsemen behind.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll damage for that.
It's 3 damage.
Okay.
You don't add anything with a bow, do you? Yeah.
Unless it's mighty.
Or +5 flaming Vorpal bow.
You should have just pulled out your shock lance.
Yeah. I do have a shotgun, by the way, John. Just so you know. Because I live in this town and I went to my house.
Oh, okay.
This is my
You got it?
What else you got?
Hey, I just got money
Bag of
all right, when I did that.
I thought you also tried to get a sword. I thought it was a bag of gold and a sword.
Was it?
I don't even
I
think
just
it was
remember
his
the bag
house.
of gold.
It was like a stash on the side
Yeah.
of the road.
Either one works.
It makes
Those
sense
are good
to me.
old days.
Was that the noble's favor?
No, it's the one where we took like the risk defense, offense D6 rolls. It was like our made up homebrew game.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And I can't remember
Yeah, John
the circumstance, but yeah, he wanted to.
Well, he was like,
Well, we went
"This
to
is
my hometown."
Yeah, this is my hometown. So can I go to my house and get
I
all
guess
this
he had a
stuff?"
theory.
I figured if I was from there, I'd probably have a house.
But it was like we were all new, and we probably didn't explain that if you don't have something on your character sheet, you don't have it, right?
Was this before?
I think that was the very first one I'd ever played.
Yeah. Was this before or after you peed on a deer
That was
and
before.
killed it while jumping?
Yeah, that was before, because after we left there, that's when we went into the woods, and I chased down
is
a deer.
incredible. I
pissed
can
on
do
it, and killed
anything.
it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did, and it sounds right. Like first time playing.
If you could
That's
do
the type of
anything,
stuff you
John,
do.
what would you do?
Right.
Pee on a deer and kill
Pee
it
on a
chased
deer.
it
The
down
mind
with a
of
dagger.
while jumping.
like a 13-year-old,
while jumping.
14-year-old, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
while
that,
jumping.
the idea is to be 50 feet-ish away from the fire, the wood. Mm-hmm. And I'll just continue to taunt them.
Okay. So are you behind the wood?
Yeah, I'm
Closer
on
to the
town
houses?
side of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I mean, they were already eager enough to try and charge you down, but the
When I hear him cursing, I'll light the arrow and get ready to fire.
okay, Yes, you don't necessarily hear cursing, and the overwhelming number of horses galloping right now is pretty thunderous. So a little bit quieter back where you're at, but overall it still drowns out most of the noise.
Okay.
So they're going to continue down, and when they get to the wood, they end up splitting to part it. Right, to try, since they can't go over it.
Right.
How many do you want to go past before you take your action, Adina?
How many have started to split?
So it's
Oh, remember we barricaded.
He's got to take his action.
Yeah.
First.
yeah.
He's got to light it on fire.
So it's up to him how many split.
So I was going to say, as the first two pass it.
7 will go to the left, and the rest will go to the right.
Okay.
You want to wait to the first 2?
Yeah, I was going to wait for the first 2 because I figure if I launch it right when they pass, like shortly after, like right after they pass it, then it'll hit right as the bulk of them
Okay.
are next to it.
All right. So yeah, let's do your action there. What would you get? What would you say on something like that, just to see if he hits his target? I mean, it doesn't have an AC or anything.
Oh,
DC
usually
10.
those, like a 10 would be
10.
an average shot.
Okay.
But I don't know,
So,
that might
it's
be
a
an
pretty
easy
big
shot,
pile of
actually.
wood. So
That might be a broadside of the barn type thing.
yeah.
How far away are we from it?
you will be
I think
roughly 110 feet.
Yeah, that's still within
so
your
it's-
first range increment.
Yeah,
I think so.
We'll call it a 5.
like hitting an archery target would probably be a 10
Yeah.
within his range increment. That's a big pile of wood, so it might even be easier.
And you just have to
Looking out
hit
for you,
anywhere
just-
around it, basically.
I rolled a 24.
Okay, yeah. So you pretty easily. So you see from the house right in front of you, or I'm sorry, off to your right, Falk stands up and touches his oil-soaked, cloth-wrapped arrow tip to the torch and draws back and releases into the fire, or into the wood, which immediately goes up due to pouring all of the town's oil on the wood. So now you have this giant flame in the middle of the road.
I will channel a level 1 create fire weave,
Okay.
and I will use it to step up the house fire 2 stages
Okay.
to a firestorm, which is a 50-foot radius. It says a will save, but I think they mean reflex save.
Yeah.
Okay.
I often
Of a
resist fire
14.
with willpower, guys. I gotta contest that.
I guess to not flinch or what?
And
No,
that,
if you think hard enough, it won't burn
Oh,
you.
okay.
and that will be for half damage. So everyone caught in the radius is taking 5d8.
Okay.
So 25 damage. And I will sustain it for now.
Taraboners, more like Tarragoners. Okay.
I think that's fair. He's a dad now. He has to make dad jokes.
That's the
True.
practice.
We have that power now.
It comes so natural. It was
does.
like the day he was born. All these jokes came in my head.
Yeah.
That went about as well as the pike wall we had the other villagers set up against the charging horsemen.
Yeah. Didn't we do a whole bunch of rooftop shooting too?
Yeah,
Lit them into a murder ambush.
yeah. But I remember giving like 10 of the villagers pikes, and they, like half of them rolled criticals
Oh,
or something,
nice.
and just slaughtered almost all of the people.
I must have been rolling for the villagers.
All right. And what is the save?
14.
14. 5 of them made it.
All right. So they take half. So they take, 12 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the damage? 25, you said?
Mm-hmm. Actually, well, no, I probably can't really see into a firestorm. Right?
Is there one of those fire tornado things?
It's not really a windy day.
The fire creates the wind.
But the sudden, what would it be? The intake of oxygen from the fire is it's trying to pull it towards it. As does start to swirl the flames quite a bit. Definitely in the middle, where it's more concentrated as you start to see a good funnel starting.
Yeah, it might be real weird if that lasts more than 5 seconds. Maybe I shouldn't sustain it. Yeah, I'll drop the weave immediately, so it'll go back down to its house fire size.
Okay.
So to everyone looking, it should just sort of look like it
flared
up massively.
It came at the right time there because just hitting, and it does not quite the gasoline effect, but fairly close.
A dozen pyros in this town were born.
Better keep an eye on Dill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine he'll be the best behaved boy.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Cho'Gath, you're closest to this. You guys all see the flames grow quicker than you've ever seen a fire grow before. And it envelops all of the riders and the horses. And there's cries from inside this inferno that...
What do they say, John?
They don't say anything. They're just, it's pure screaming and pain screams.
Then I'll say,
And horses.
blood and bloody ashes.
But you have men that fall from their horses. All of the 12 that were following immediately take so much that they fall from their horses and are not moving. The two in the lead, the large muscular man, he falls from his horse, not dead, but he's just on the ground rolling around screaming. There are a total of 14 horses that are on fire running around in different directions now. The slender man is still on his horse, screaming as well as it rides off towards the wagons.
Okay. All right.
I'll order my contingent to let him burn.
Okay. Do you want to direct yours at all?
I'll tell them to put them out of their misery.
Okay.
That's
So
the
we're going to fire it
central difference between
of all them.
Falcon.
Crap. Do they have rules for stuff being caught on fire? They got to.
I'm sure they do, and if not, then we'll just...
It's just a full action for them to put themselves out. Just
How much damage per
John,
turn
sorry.
do you remember?
should be...
well,
Is it just like 1D?
I think it was 1d6 continuous.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
Yeah.
Unless you were in the spot that was dealing whatever damage it was dealing, like
You're standing.
if it was
in
like
the
a
campfire.
firewall, if you were standing
Yeah.
in those spots, it would keep dealing that damage. But
Yeah.
I think you're right on the 1D6. That sounds about
I
right.
think that's what it was. High level characters don't worry so much about fire. Mm-hmm. They can stay in a burning spot for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, well, we'll finish our drink.
Crap. What game was it where I swear like that was the thing to do? Like it might have been an MMO where you just stand on the campfire and mess around. Might have been WoW.
Yeah, people
Like,
did it
wow.
in WoW because the noise would annoy other people.
But you'd get to the point where the
What a
fire
high-minded
couldn't hurt
goal.
you.
I want to annoy other people.
Yeah.
I think that's the only reason they have jumping in MMOs too.
Dude,
Well, it wasn't. I don't think it was just the sound. I think it also it told you that
somebody
that
was
person took
taking
damage, so it's like spamming your chat window. I remember in the very, very early days of it, people were demanding that people be banned for doing that.
I never quite got that. Do they not have the ability to filter things?
I
Back
don't know,
then?
maybe not. Maybe not in the beginning.
But people would still get mad in other MMOs where you could filter about
Yeah.
spam things, and I'm like, turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then how am I supposed to know what that other person's doing?
Well, evidently you don't want to know.
I think it'd be like an adventuring.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It might not be in there though.
It's not. It goes. It has a table for grenade-like weapons, but it doesn't talk about the. At least I can't find it.
But that's my memory of the way 3.5 does it. So
Yeah, I always thought that it was 1d6 per round for a certain amount of rounds.
Until they put themselves out. Yeah. I know that.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll after we'll have you do another 1d6 for each of them. Okay. Go ahead and have your archers or have your townsfolk shoot.
Okay. I'll take aim at the big guy that was in front.
Okay. The one that fell on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
18.
That is a hit.
For 5 damage.
Okay.
Then I'll start with the 2 woodsmen with me.
Are they going to shoot the big guy or the small guy?
They'll shoot the ones in the back. Anyone that's still on a horse
all
for
of those
one.
are dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone that's left alive.
It's just the two that were out in front that had the officer insignias.
Okay. We'll say the woodsmen follow my lead and shoot the big guy, and the
others
5
will shoot the guy that stayed his horse. Okay.
Yeah. So, woodsman got a 7.
It's a miss.
And an 8.
Miss.
The 5 villagers got an 8, a 13, potential critical.
Villagers are
With
showing
an
up the
18,
woodsman.
so it's...
That was be a miss if it's on the thin guy.
Okay, so just a hit
Okay.
with the 20 and a 14, so...
Okay, so we got 1.
Yeah. For 8.
Nice. So that villager, as a practice hunter, leads him and then lets loose, takes him in the chest, and he finally falls off his horse.
Okay.
So what you're left with now is after Falk's archers or villagers had let loose, is one guy rolling around on the ground screaming. He's not making any attempt to put himself out yet. There's still kind of the shock of it and is getting him. So we'll have you do your 1.
4.
Okay.
This might be what makes me decide that the 3 O's are a good thing.
It doesn't quite kill him still. He's starting to come a little bit to his senses, though. But we'll have another round. Cho'Gath, do you want to take any actions here? So, your view of this is, it's all the stories that you would imagine of horrible punishment from the Dark One. As it's a big spout of flame after the arrow sails into the wood, and you can see shapes moving and falling, and you hear the screams as they're right next to you. Horses come bursting out of the fire aflame, and when it dies down to the normal size of a bonfire, you see the bodies on the floor or on the ground, and you see the horses running in all directions. One guy is still on his horse, but a volley of arrows, one hits him and takes him down. There's a few arrows that sail into the guy that's on the ground as well. He is still alive, though.
Yeah. And how far away?
From you, he would be. He would have been in the front, so he's right at that 50-foot point.
Okay. Well, I'll double move. What's a horse's move? 40.
Which horse?
The
Light or
heavy war horse is 40.
Yeah.
So I'll let's see. I'll draw my sword and charge him.
Okay.
Slash his face off. 24
It's a hit.
for 7 damage.
Okay. So you deal him what would be a pretty grievous wound if he wasn't already a crispy critter. Mm-hmm. But he still doesn't die. He's still aflame, and
Yeah.
Skin
you feel really
sloughing
horrible about it.
Nah. That's what he gets.
Um,
I'll tell him that there are consequences for our actions.
Oh, it's time for mercy. Tell him no man can walk too far in the shadow to return to the light.
That might kind of sound facetious.
Because he's in the light.
So at this point, he's going to start trying to extinguish himself, and he's begging for you to help him and spare his life.
Okay.
He's yielding. Now, does he still take damage this round while he's trying to put himself out, or does he just use his action to put himself out and then he's done with it?
It depends on when the damage comes, I guess. If it comes at the beginning of his turn, he takes it and then puts himself out. If it comes at the end of his turn, so I don't know, roll 50% if we can't find the rules, and then high or low it.
If he uses the same rules as oil, it says on the round following a direct hit, the target takes an additional 1.6 or 1d6 points of damage.
Where did you find the oil?
It's in the equipment section.
No.
And the random equipment.
Of course, it would be in the equipment and not in any of the other parts.
Or
But
if you,
when during that round.
it doesn't specify when.
Is it just once?
Yeah, it just says the following round it takes 1d6 points of damage.
Okay.
Would it be on the attacker's round then?
Okay. So that would have
make
been
sense?
the one that I had
Oh
to
wait,
do
no.
after.
Then it says later the target can take a full round action to attempt to extinguish the flames before taking this additional damage.
Okay.
Okay, well, yeah, he didn't have the presence of mind to try and do that just yet, but he will on this turn to put himself out, and he looks horrible.
Is there an attack of opportunity on that?
Most likely,
It's a full round action.
you're not doing anything to defend yourself.
Well, I won't take it.
Okay,
It does say that rolling on the ground gives him a +2 bonus
To range.
to the reflex saving throw.
no, well, he didn't roll on the ground until after
No,
he fell out of
it's
his
the
horse
roll for
from
putting
massive
himself out.
amount of
Yeah,
damage.
for putting himself
What's
out.
the DC to put yourself out?
15.
Yeah.
What is it? Reflex?
Yeah.
So he gets a +2 for rolling on the ground.
He doesn't make it.
Well, that would make sense because now he is still on fire, right?
Yeah.
So then he would take his damage at the
Okay.
end of his turn.
Yeah, so he didn't make it. So go ahead and do.
5.
Okay, yes, so that makes him stop moving. 'Cause, so you
You
rode
mean
by.
he's dead?
He just,
And-
No, he's just stopped moving.
he can
He's
live
smoldering.
he can live the rest of his
slashed
life.
him,
Yeah.
Like this.
and he started begging for you to help him, and saying that he yields. He starts trying to roll around and put himself out, and then he stops.
He
I
starts
couldn't reach him in time.
he starts trying to beg you, but that's when the fat in his lips pop with a loud snapping sound.
Gross.
Yeah, so you guys have the sounds of the fire, obviously the sounds of horses. What are they? They kind of make almost a shrieking, don't they? Like that. Yeah.
Bad.
So you have that, which the villagers, after they take their initial shots at that one guy, they start looking around at the scene before them, and most of them sick up.
What hath we wrought?
Do you want composure checks?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty gruesome. I mean, Cho'Gath, you've seen Trollocs take the same punishment, but never men. So I'll kind of leave that one up to you.
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
I got a 10.
Okay, so yeah, you definitely realize that there's a reason for why the power shouldn't be used as a weapon.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure that if you're saying I'm not gonna like get sick from this, but there's like a tightness around my eyes. I don't like what I saw here today. I don't like what I did. Maybe I'll like be kind of like wiping my hands on my dress like they're covered in something.
Yeah, you're not close enough to see. Well, I guess if you're still holding the power, you can actually make out the sight and smells. So yes, you do sick up on that as well.
What about a fort save to
As I
avoid
was
sicking
gonna,
up?
well, you can, yeah. As make it a 14.
I sick up.
Okay.
If it's a 14, I barely make it.
You can't quite smell it yet,
Okay.
and you're not really close enough to fully see. since Adina's vision and hearing and sense of smell is enhanced by the power, she can make out all the gory details of it. Same with you, Rafe. And the villagers just... it happening itself is not something they ever thought they'd see in their life. So, what would you guys like to do? But
I want to go. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to go inspect that guy.
Okay, so you're gonna go. So you watched this guy fail to attempt to put out his flaming clothing, and you say blood and bloody ashes, and then turn and go and check out the. Shouldn't be too far away. No, he didn't get very far before.
Yeah,
they put him down, and he's still breathing. Same with the other guy; they're not completely dead.
Okay,
but it's close.
Is this guy the one that I'm going to look at? Is he still on fire?
Yes. Actually, I'll have you do 2 rounds of damage for him too.
3 and 4.
Okay. So yeah, it's very, very difficult to tell that he's breathing. He's also got an arrow in his chest as well.
Right. Well, I'll take my cloak off and try to snuff out the flames.
Okay.
How hard is it to get down off the building I was on?
Not very difficult. You guys had like a little rope ladder that you can pull up so that they couldn't get to you.
You can just jump if you roll. When you hit the ground, it won't do any damage.
But yeah, I'll get down. I'm going to go start looking to see if there's anyone still alive.
Okay. Do one more set for the big guy.
2 and 2.
Okay, so yeah, by the time that you... so there's bits and pieces of people from the initial burst. There are still some whole but very charred bodies. The one other leader is still burning, and it's same thing with him. If you put out the flame, you could tell that he is still breathing, very, very shallow.
Okay.
Is this the one I put out?
No, this would be the big guy. That's the only guy that isn't either completely burnt or pieces missing.
All right. Well, remember when I took a shot? And there was the shorter guy and the bigger guy, and I shot at the shorter guy. I'm trying to put out the bigger guy. Is that the same one you're talking about?
I thought you were doing the slender guy.
No.
Okay. I'm sorry. Then we'll take that back one. So it's like I said, he's still. You do put him back or put him out. Did you want to go to the one with the arrow then?
Oh well, if he's got the big guy, I'm just going to pass by him and see if there are any other survivors.
Yeah, no. A pretty quick scan when you get close would tell you right away that there's not. When you do get close, though, do a will save.
22.
Okay, so yeah, the smell of burning flesh is thick in the air, and the sight itself is pretty horrendous. Nothing like you've ever seen before, but you're able to hold it together.
I'll still try and use something to cover my nose.
Okay. Yeah, so when you get close, you can tell pretty quick that everybody that was following is definitely not going to make it or hadn't made it.
Okay. And then seeing that, then I'll go over to the skinny guy.
Okay. Yeah, so it would just be the equivalent of the full round action to put him out, but you can't.
I'm not going to put
easily.
him out.
Oh, you're not? Okay.
I'm going to finish him off.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Pretty hardcore.
When I see that they're moving around and looks like everything's done with, I'll release the source and tell Dill to follow me. And I'm not going near that.
Okay.
I'll take him further back into the village or something.
All right. Yeah, he's pretty stunned, right? Like he didn't expect that, as he didn't know what to expect, but definitely not that, right?
The Borderlands are harsh land deal. They have to be inventive.
Yeah, he definitely looks he looks a lot sicker than he should be at that distance. They shouldn't have been able to see or really smell any of that, but he's plugging his nose, and he looks on the verge of sicking up.
Yeah, I'll kind of like, comfort him, pat the back of his head or something like that, and lead him. Like, what is it? Is the inn towards the center of the village?
Yeah.
I'll lead him towards there.
Okay. Yeah. So he doesn't put up any argument. He just follows along behind you fairly quietly. Rafe, you'll have essentially two action phases here to get caught up as well. So what would you like to do?
So I'll tell those guys to stay up here a minute longer, maintain a lookout. So let's be on an eye out for, I don't know, anybody that wasn't part of that group that was trying to sneak around or something.
Okay. Yeah, so they're pretty thankful to not have to go down and inspect that any closer. A few of them are kind of congratulating each other. There's a few in there that are sicking up still. Or the mayor had went back to the stone house as well, so they're not aware yet of what has happened. Right? Just so you guys.
So from the camp, do we know this is all or the majority of their encampment that came at us?
So the villagers that had overheard the discussion of a raid on Aturo's orchard didn't have a number count. They just knew that the camp was supposed to be larger than the one that they were being held at. You guys didn't kill anybody at that other camp, if I remember right.
Right.
There was just a guy that had his face horribly burned when Adina did the same trick with a torch. Yeah.
Oh, and we faced a fade there too.
Yes, as if you relay the details of that during your travel. Do you tell? Because it was only Adina and Cho'Gath that were there.
Yeah, I would have told them.
Okay. So, what happened when they were causing a distraction so that you guys could free the prisoners? They had seen a high-ranking Taraboner soldier, Taraboner dressed soldier that had come out and had met with a murderer. And when Cho'Gath tried to had actually successfully charged him, the murderer had come back, and there was a small encounter between Cho'Gath and the murderer, in which Cho'Gath escaped. And then that the commander calling out for his guards was what allowed you guys to move in without encountering anybody and free the villagers, just to catch you up there since you were out.
Okay.
Yeah, so what would you guys like to do at this point? Do you have any type of first aid that you want to try and perform on this guy?
No,
Okay.
no, but he's still alive.
Yes, he is.
So the plan then is, after I've got him put out, is to drag him back into town and see if Adina can help him so that he can answer any questions.
Do you gotta stay his
Okay.
blade first, or are you going for a different
We're
one?
on different.
He went
Yeah, I've
for a
got it.
different one.
Yeah, I
Go
went
ahead
for the
and roll the coup de grace.
Is it
Isn't that, does it do max damage, or is it you
It's
actually
a-
roll? It's just a critical,
critical,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
12
That's
damage?
yours, huh?
I think so. I never heard him cry like that.
So yeah, you
Yeah, that's a bit more different.
very easily and cleanly
That's Sebastian.
Yeah, that,
take off.
I wasn't doing it maliciously or anything. It was.
What are you using?
He can.
My
He can be
longsword.
so
Okay.
loud.
Yeah, so you just stab straight
That's
in
him.
through the throat, right above the
That's
collarbone, base the
Sebastian.
neck there.
Man, he can
Yeah,
really.
it's more of
let
a
the
mercy
world know.
killing. Than
James,
he's a dark
he
friend, so
doesn't like get that any like keening type cry.
The-
He just kind of go like wham.
The only one that is confirmed, at least, is that one commander, and he did leave the camp to go meet that murderer.
Okay.
Yeah, and we overheard, or Cho'Gath overheard,
Yeah.
that the murderer's sending him south.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have one confirmed dark friend, but no matter how hard Adina would try, she couldn't believe that all these white cloaks were dark friends.
So, yeah, I want to drag this guy back and see if Adina can keep him alive to answer any questions, wake him up, because she has some medical skill
Okay.
that's not related to the one power in any way.
Well, actually, I do have some medical skill.
Yeah.
When I'm not
Also,
basically smearing baking grease on you guys and saying it's a salve.
right, yeah.
What the heck is that other one?
I also want to see what armor he's wearing.
He has...
It's now melted to part of his flesh.
Nah, the armor's metal, can't melt.
It might have come close.
Yeah.
Does it probably have a 10 hardness?
Yeah.
Maybe higher? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, I bought that whole set, by the way, of the 5th edition.
Nice. When you think you'll be able to start?
It's so hard to say because there's not a set schedule with when Noah's going to go to his dad's or not.
I see.
There's some cool rules for boss monsters in that edition that I really like. Like they
Yeah.
have lair actions and then like legendary
Yeah,
actions.
I saw that. Yeah.
There was
They're
a
really neat.
guy on Reddit who had a boss monster. It was like a wizard chick who essentially could do the Inception stuff. So, like, as a reaction, she could change a point of gravity.
Oh, nice.
Or as a move or whatever it is, she could invert or start folding
That's
the
pretty
room
cool.
in
So
on
it's
itself.
like Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there was all sorts of cool stuff she was doing. Like anytime any of the melees got close to her, she'd change the direction of gravity. She'd put the center of gravity on another character, and they'd start orbiting.
And that Curse of Strahd, the main vampire guy, like he has a bunch in his castle that makes his castle do different things.
Oh, yeah.
It's really neat.
It'd be cool if they extended that out to the village too, because technically that whole land is his.
Yeah, I think he does, like, when he's out in the wild, he just has different ones. Like, he can, like, call wolves and all sorts of
yeah.
things.
Oh man, that's one I've always wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Because I think you had some of stuff with him, or maybe you were just reading up on him for some reason. But you're the one that told me, like, I think it was in that vampire one that John was game mastering for us.
Oh, yeah.
When he tried to have this vampire just walk in, and Brand's like, no.
Yeah.
The only vampire that can do that's
Yeah.
Strahd, or whatever his name is.
Well, what is that from Ravenloft?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read some Ravenloft books, and
Yeah.
I really liked them when I was a kid.
That's super well designed module. Whoever the original writers were, I think it might have been the Dragonlance chicks.
I think it was.
Yeah, like I know Soth, I think
Yeah,
is the Death
Soth's-
Knight's name.
yeah, he's in it.
He gets,
Yeah.
was it like bound to or bound by Strahd?
So he has full Brigadine armor.
Right.
You'll never get the smell out of it, though.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Anyway, I'll take him back to Adina.
Okay. So are you actually dragging him, or are you going to put him over a horse?
Yeah, I was just going to put him over Avalanche's saddle and
Okay.
lead him back. If I drug him, then all his skin would peel off.
So you take him back. You go back to the building where she was at, and they tell you that she had taken Dill and moved into town,
Okay.
back to the inn.
All right. Yeah, that's where I'll go.
And
After I dispatch that guy, I'm going to go around the perimeter of the village, make sure there aren't any others.
okay, yeah. So do you want to bring any of your guys, or
I'll try and grab the 2 woodsmen and have the other 5 villagers go directly to the other side of town.
okay?
Let's see. I think once I'm back at the inn, I'll pour myself and Dill a little thing of like the strongest spirit I can
Like
find.
a brandy or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
and tell him it will help him help settle his stomach.
Okay. So, what would you like to do, Rafe?
Yeah, once it seems to be all clear, we'll just we'll get down. And I guess if we haven't already sent a runner, sorry, I might have missed it, to get the
no, not
people
yet.
hiding out. Yeah. Or maybe I'll just go up there and give the all clear.
Okay. So, what would you like your little band to do there?
Yeah, I'll just have them come with me. Or, oh no, I'll do like Falk did, where I'll take the woodsmen with me, but disperse the villagers
Okay.
back to their homes or to...
We should probably have someone try and put out the fire so it does, or at least contain it so it doesn't.
Yeah, one of the villagers voices that as well. If no one was going to, he's like, "Should we
Dig a
do
fire line
something
or something?
about that?" Because I mean, it's a pretty good sized fire. I mean, it's not just the wood. You guys poured a ton of oil into all of this wood.
Go pour water on it.
There's probably nothing we could do about the fire itself, but yeah.
Making sure it doesn't spread at least.
We could clear the around it, right? Like,
Yeah. There's so as you guys are making your plans, there's not all together, but just in random directions and alone, horses there's 6 that you can see that are still running around on fire.
I can't. I gotta resist the temptation to do anything with those horses. Otherwise, we'll have a horse train.
Become horse
And it's
merchants.
just the wheel repeating itself.
We can send the villagers to go try and
Gather the horses.
gather them.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I can do with
This
my
would
5.
be a beginning,
Yeah.
right? Because last time it wouldn't have been you
Yeah.
being the horse merchant as you were game master. So
Yeah. This would be your first
I don't know
time
if
with a
these
horse.
would gather or gain much coin.
I'll let Justin take a crack at it. He'll break your economy.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so you guys you and your woodsman set off to check the perimeter. You and your woodsman, Rafe, will set off to the stone house. Adina is back in the inn, and that's where you find her, Cho'Gath. Dill, he's looking a little bit better, but he's got a little thing of brown liquor that Adina's having him drink, and she's having some as well.
I wouldn't give him a lot.
No, yeah, I mean, like a tiny bit. He's not like downing it. He doesn't really like the taste of it, but he likes small sips.
Okay.
Yeah.
Adina, one of the leaders, is still alive, and he might be able to answer some questions if you can keep him that way.
At him telling me one of the leaders is still alive, I'll almost look like crestfallen, like something survived that, and it's got to be horrible. Bring him up to. He might not even survive climbing the stairs. Where is he?
Well, he's on my horse right outside.
Put him into the stable.
Okay.
Meet you there.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
I'll go.
Okay. Are you going to try and remove any of his armor at all?
Not right now.
Okay.
Well, whatever Adina says we need to move so that she can minister to him.
I know what is wrong with him, but kind of like as a penance, I'm still going to delve him.
Okay.
So that way I really can know. All right. So I'm figuring he's injured from wounds, and injury is what he's suffering from.
This man is injured. You don't say it.
That's about the extent of the medical training that Fenrith has there.
Yeah. Like Cho'Gath, I think we should have just put him out of his misery. Do we really need information from him?
I guess not. Okay. Turn around.
Where is delving?
It's the 1 power. It's under healing. Like, Weave level 0 tells me what's afflicting him for wounds and injuries.
There we go.
And that's what I'd cast at.
Okay, yes. He's suffering from a very visible sword slash, and also what you can't see because the armor that he has a full mask helmet is that he's cooked inside of that thing. So he's got burns through most of his body that was exposed by the padding, and the metal has heated to a point where it's melted into his skin.
Pretty gruesome.
And he has an arrow sticking out of him.
No, that was the guy that you had dispatched.
Oh, I thought I hit this guy, and then one of the villagers hit the other guy.
So are we just going to put him out of his misery, or do you want me to stabilize him?
Yeah, well, I just thought somebody might want to question him, but if nobody does, I'll just finish him
No,
off.
you're right. Yeah. So Andy has an arrow sticking at him.
Just add injury to more injury.
Yeah.
I'll just cut his head off
Okay.
or kill him in some.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a
manner.
bit difficult because there's still plates that cover his neck.
Yeah.
If you wanted to cut his head off without trying to tear that helmet
Fine,
off, but
I'll dump some
you
oil
can
on
just
it.
go like up under the ribs or something. Yeah.
It's
Put a
too
dagger.
late. We just
With a
got to
knife.
push through.
I'll
More
try.
fire.
I'll carry him up to the top of the
Throw him off.
house.
But it's not high enough to kill him, so you got to do it a couple times.
Yeah, I'll drown him in a bucket of water.
We could keep him alive
Yeah, I mean,
until we make it to
he's
Carrion.
steadily getting worse. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not. His condition isn't improving at all.
Right. Well, there's got to be some area exposed I can.
Yeah, you can get in.
Probably up under the throat, too.
Yeah, if you go with like a dagger under the throat or like a thin dagger,
Yeah.
between the or under the chainmail there or through it. So, but yeah, you can.
Okay.
And let's see. If you wait, would that be 18 seconds? He'll die on his own. So, depending on how long your conversation is, you might not even need to take care of the problem.
Right.
You'll have taken care of it. Falk, you and your woodsmen don't find, after circling the town, which takes you a couple hours to do a fairly detailed search, you don't find any other signs of anybody hiding, or it looks like they were pretty much coming straight forward. They didn't seem to expect much from
Any kind of
Villager here.
unexpected horse tracks or anything like that?
not that look fresh.
Okay.
It's soft. It'd been raining, so it's pretty soft ground, muddy in most places. But you don't find anything that stands out as being fresh. Rafe, you get back and you let the mayor know. What do you say to him?
Was he at where all the women and children were?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll just tell him that we repelled the enemies, and you're free to go home. But I'd steer clear of this portion of the village, unless you like looking at a group of men and horses that were burned to death.
Okay. So yeah, when you initially say that you had repelled, like everybody's happy thinking like you fought them off, but then you talk about burned body or people and animals, and there's a soft murmur that goes through the crowd there. The mayor says that he'll find some people to take care of cleanup on that, and tells everybody to. They're free to remain here or at the inn for the people that live close to that area. Everybody else can disperse to their homes, though, and most do. He talks to your woodsmen and tells them, if you didn't already, to fetch the other two that were in the wood still, and has them go to remove any bodies and dig a fire line around the fire as well. He does wish to hold a what feast they can for you guys.
Plenty of horse.
Pre-cooked. Just
Yeah.
warm, heat and eat. Or get it soon enough.
He just says that, give him some time to prepare, but you're more than welcome to rest at the inn if you'd like to, or, if not, then tonight that's kind of where everything will take place. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for your assistance in helping us with the... Did you guys disclose that they were Whitecloaks to him?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
No.
So thank you very much for your assistance in dispatching these Taraboner raiders. So I'm sure that that they'll leave us alone now that they understand the consequences.
I think I'm going to take a room in the inn. and just fill a wash basin and start scrubbing my hands.
Okay. There is a bath area here, a little bathhouse, if you guys wanted to.
It's
but
her hands that are dirty. The blood won't come off.
You guys also do have rooms here.
Okay, I'll go to mine then.
I don't know if we had that opportunity before they were like, save the people.
No, I know I have a room because of
It was like reserved. Yeah.
Yeah, she had actually reserved one for each of you,
Okay.
in the off chance that you all came. But just for rescuing the villagers, the mayor had said that he would put you up as well, free room, board, and food.
which causes me to worry because that means she's either watching us or has people watching out for us if she's reserved a room for all of us.
What you're saying is we need to kill everybody in town.
It's the only way to keep it quiet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll take a bath.
Okay.
And I will spend some time with Dill just to let him, calm him down. Let him talk about what he's thinking about what he saw. And I'll do that by teaching him how to care for my armor, oil it and clean it and everything.
Okay. So are you trying to turn that into a metaphor for what he might have experienced, or
No,
just talk to him while you're doing it as a task
Yeah.
to keep your hands busy?
Let him talk more than
Right.
Cho'Gath
Okay.
talking, maybe something like that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so he starts when he does talk. It's not so much about what he saw because he didn't really see much. He saw a big burst of flame, and then he saw some dead bodies, which weren't new to him. He describes the smell though, and not in a way that you would associate it with what you actually smelled up there. He doesn't really have any words to put to it to give you a lot of detail other than it was bad.
Oh, yeah.
Right. As he doesn't describe like burning flesh or anything like that. He just describes really horrible smell.
Well, so to me, that just is like, oh, well, the kid's got a weird sense of smell or something, right? I don't have any sort of knowledges or background that would make me think anything more of that,
Yeah.
right? So I'll just, it will sound weird because humans burning doesn't actually smell that bad.
Yeah.
So,
Maybe because, was it Ingatar?
Yeah.
Has the sniffer, and there's like common knowledge in the Borderlands, isn't it?
Is it?
The lords have
I
sniffers.
guess so.
Or some of them do.
Yeah.
I just don't know how common.
It's not so common that every single person knows. But you're from Shinar, though, right?
Yeah, Shinar.
Yeah, so in a fair... Well, let's do this. So that will go... Give you a 30% chance low end here.
Oh.
Yeah, 17. Okay, so... Yeah, you have actually... Well, this is interesting. You've heard of the Sniffer, but you've never met him.
Well, I have.
Well, you have, but
I
you don't
know that I
Yeah.
have. Right. Okay. Well, yeah, but see, I'm not going to confuse the kid by telling him about that.
Yeah,
I'll just let him talk. And
It's not common knowledge. I mean, what he smells or anything like that. You just know that he's a good thief taker,
right.
and that there's something odd about the way that he does it.
Right.
But you don't know exact detail how he does it.
Yeah. But they call him a sniffer for a reason.
It does bring to mind though that conversation that you had with the two men in the mountain line.
Mm-hmm.
Or the one that talked about the smell of men doing horrible things, or
Right.
the smell of evil. What would you like to do, Rafe?
So Rafe will head back to the inn, and he will boast loudly and callously about the victory and the men that just died. Meanwhile, he will drink until he can no longer hear the screams of dying men or horses
Okay.
in his head.
Yeah, so there's not many people at first when you get back there. As the night goes on, it seems like the people that were there had the same idea, right? The ones that were in the stone house are trying to celebrate and congratulate people, and they're taking it graciously, but they're not joining in the festivities as far as what their drinking looks like, and it's very similar to what you're doing there. But all of your drinks and food and exit room and everything are already taken care of, so you can have as much as you want.
Men sitting down to work at drinking, not to have
Right.
fun. Yeah.
Although I am, like if I know a song, I'll be trying to sing that, like some soldier's victory song, trying to get people to join in with me until I can't sing anymore because I'm blackout.
And you'll definitely find people who will attempt it. There's a few people that know a couple of the songs that you sing, and a couple, if you'll let them, will teach you a couple as well.
Okay.
Rafe, Falk, so you'd spent a couple hours. What are you going to do after?
I was going to go back to the skinny guy. Mm-hmm. I was going to check him to see if he had any information, any papers, what he had on his corpse. So
the cloth or the clothing that he had over his, he had a full brigadine as well. That's gone, right? You never put him out; you just killed him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's slowly burned away.
Okay.
What's left is the metal and he has a long sword as well.
Okay.
You don't find anything else on him, on the clothing outside of his armor, at least. You do notice you're going to have a difficult time if you want to get him out of the armor.
Okay.
The smell has gotten worse. There are people that are out there clearing it, starting to clear some away. And they have more to protect themselves from the smell than the smoke. They have bandanas tied around their faces with some herbs that are inside of it so that they're not smelling all of this. There's some that are setting about digging a trench around the bonfire, and the others are tasked with bringing over a cart and a mule to load the dead bodies.
Okay.
But yeah, no one will question you with anything that you do. But other than the sword, you don't find anything.
Well, he was headed towards the wagon that we'd put in place to stop anyone from going the other direction, right?
He wasn't really controlling his horse. His horse just went wherever, right? Yeah, that's at the point after that initial burst, and if you stage your horse, you don't decide where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the way that it had taken him.
Okay. How far away do you think he'd be from the wagon?
He's a good distance. He didn't get very far, and the horse itself wasn't. It wasn't like set purpose go to this place. With how quickly everything happened, you can imagine that the animal was pretty stunned as well.
Okay.
And the pattern that it was moving in didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Okay. So
I'm gonna find a low wall or a building or a tree or something I can lean up against that's kind of near the corpse, and just sit and watch the fire burn.
Okay.
As it burns, and I'm gonna wait till it's actually out and smoldering before I head back to the inn.
It's gonna be quite a while.
I know.
As you're doing this, about an hour or so after, a couple horses, no longer on fire, go running by. You can tell that they were in the fire, though.
Yeah.
There's been, at the inn, there's been some talk about finding the bodies of some of the horses, just spread kind of randomly throughout the village. But it looks like at least a couple had made it. So, it'll go. I don't think there's rules for how long a fire burns.
If it goes until even sunlight, I'll just sit there and watch it.
Let's do this. It'll burn for 9 hours before it starts to abate.
Okay. Then I guess I'll just stay there till morning.
Okay. You do get people that come out and bring you food and let you know that there's a victory celebration going on in the inn. But they don't don't bug you too much, depending on your demeanor.
Yeah, I've probably got a weird look on my face, and I've got my sword out and still in my hand, but I'm obviously not threatening anything.
Okay. So in that case, originally there were some villagers that were going to come and try and invite you to the celebration. The two woodsmen approached you, the ones that you had taken with them instead, though. And they're the ones that will bring you something to eat.
Okay.
And let you know that that there's something going on back in town that...
Yeah, I'll take the food, but I'll make up some sort of an excuse, like I want to make sure that this fire doesn't get out of control or something like that.
Okay. Yeah, and they do a pretty efficient job of digging a nice little fire line for it, and it takes them a few hours to clean up the corpses. Some other people come out and help dig and clear bodies away. But yeah, no one will bug you.
Okay.
So for the three here, Cho'Gath, Adina, and Rafe, the mood of the inn as it gets towards the celebration time shifts from kind of the brooding to, or not brooding, but reflecting, to a pretty happy time. You know, people that weren't part of the attack come in and
aren't haunted by what they saw.
Yeah. And so, the mood there does lighten quite a bit, as even some of the villagers who were doing a pretty good job at drinking away the memory join in the fun.
On the surface, anyways. We're all laughing, so we won't be crying, John.
I'm just going to go to bed.
Okay. Cho'Gath, what would you like to do?
Well, take part in the festivities.
Okay.
This is par for course.
Yeah.
And so, there's many thanks that are given to you. The mayor even makes a proclamation that you guys are welcome to come back at any point, and with free room and board. The Aturo's Orchard will always have you. You reunite. What was her name? Issa with her family.
Right.
And you get many thanks from the parents for not only saving their daughter, but them as well. All in all, I mean, it's pretty long night. And are you gonna wander off to bed, or so someone will take you up there? A couple people will, if you
not with any memory of it.
Just stare into the fire and drink your booze.
Right. Although it'll probably be pretty quick for Rafe, because I have an 8 constitution, so game rules wise, it'll probably put me under the table fairly quick.
Okay. Yeah. Cho'Gath, just are you gonna stay up past the festivities, or?
Well, no.
Okay.
I'm not going to get silly about it.
Okay. So,
but I'll be the one that takes Rafe
to bed.
Okay.
Do you still have a note that I?
We got him, Cho'Gath. We sure did. Man, their eyes. Did you see their eyes?
Yeah, they exploded.
They had no eyelids.
And the skin came off that one dude's face. Oh, light, help me.
Okay. So, you guys will have. This was your first day. Day and night.
Yeah.
So you will have. Are you going to mention the time frame for him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe in the morning, because we had. Well, I might have done it when we first got there. I'm not sure, because they had to find out we had rooms prepared.
Yeah. The mayor or the innkeep had offered you free rooms for rescuing the villagers. Mm-hmm. You had pulled him aside and asked him about that, and he had then mentioned that there were also rooms that were paid for, which he'll gladly refund the money for. Yeah.
No, you can keep that, master innkeep. But yeah, I'll take them aside maybe when we're sitting around at a very quiet breakfast.
Yeah, there's not a lot of activity the next morning. A lot of people got pretty drunk. And even the farmers that would normally be out tending their fields decided that they'll, as they can, take a day off, right? So it's just you guys in the inn in the morning. And by this time, the fire will have died out, so you can make your way there and get some food if you'd like as well.
Okay. Yeah.
As much as I want to be away from this place, my mistress will meet us here in a few days' time.
As, she should be arriving tomorrow.
So I fear that we get to rest, if that's all right with you.
It's fine with me. Could use a rest. Did we get paid?
You had gotten paid from the rescue of the villagers. They didn't have anything else to give you for the defense of the town, though. They had just pleaded for your help.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys had gotten
Can't remember how much they...
220 marks. They gave you 50 up front. They hadn't had a chance to give you the rest because of the urgentness of the raid. So you will get the rest of that
I don't think I wrote the marks down.
the next morning.
Yeah, neither did I.
So we get 100 marks. Is that split?
Well, there's 220 total to split amongst the four of you.
Maybe that's what happened then.
So 55 apiece.
Yeah, that's not right. So, oh no, that'd be about right for the first half. How much was it, Justin?
55.
So you will have a day to do whatever you would like, if you'd like to do anything. It's not a very big town, so there's not a lot to buy, but you guys could reprovision if you wanted to kind of get ahead of it, I guess.
Yeah. I think what Adina will do is, if the villagers haven't already started doing it, I'll order them to round up the horses that survived.
Okay.
If they think they are able to, so that way they're not just wandering around out there.
Yeah, they find the two that are in the area still that are they're pretty badly hurt, but still alive. They'd gathered up the bodies of the ones that had fallen.
Yeah. I'll have them gather materials for me to make like bandages or something like that, and I'll say that I'll go about helping the horses. Hopefully they'll survive.
So horse mummies, wrap them all the way up so no one can tell. Yeah, they'll gather whatever you need them to. The mayor offers a stable there at the inn.
Yeah.
As well.
And then I'm sure you already figured this is coming. I'll heal them.
Yeah.
So let's see. Oh no, that's not the right one. So the first one gets 9 hit points back, and I'll just keep doing that as many times as you figure I need to get them back up to full.
Okay. What does the second one get? Are you going to do them alternating or one at a time?
I'll just do one at a time. So it goes 9, 12, 12.
That will heal the first one.
All right. And now the second one. 11, 7, 4, 4. Is it still hurt?
Yeah, not a whole lot.
5.
Okay. It looks... are you going to delve as well? Or...
Yeah, I'll probably do that on both of them.
Okay. Yeah, so the first one, after you've done your healing, you could tell that it's completely restored. This other one seems like there's still just a little bit left.
All right. What is... Oh, crap. I screwed myself on the first one's healing because I was casting at a second level, which means I would do it at a third. So it was 3d8 plus... But
just roll the other d8 and apply it to this.
9.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Because you would have healed the first one quicker, so you could have used the other 12 to...
And I'm exhausted.
Okay. Yeah, so for anybody that is up that early in the stables, or around the stables, Adina leaves the stables kind of sagging a little bit, looking very tired for having gotten what you would assume is a full night's rest if she did. You're going to go in and eat after and do your talk with everybody? Okay. So you all find yourselves in the common room, sitting around a table with breakfast laid out before you. I'll let you tell it, Adina.
I thought we already did that. I was like, we
When
need to
did
stay
you-
here a couple days. I would have done the horses
okay.
after breakfast.
After, okay. Yeah, sorry then. What would you guys like to do with your day at this point then?
Well, Rafe will start out with the, what did we say? The hair of the dark hound that bit me.
Okay.
And then I'll try to stay busy as soon as I'm feeling a little bit better. So maybe I'll see if Cho'Gath wants to do some training or see if he's out there training and join in.
Okay.
I'll make a suggestion that maybe we should send some scouts out to make sure that there's not another group coming to raid.
It's not a bad idea.
I'll volunteer for that.
Okay. Which camp are you going to check?
Well,
Because there's the ones that you guys saved the villagers from, and then there was this one which was supposed to be a larger camp.
yeah.
Well,
So if they came from the larger camp, could we assume that the ones in the smaller camp are still there?
right. But if these ones that we killed came from the larger camp and have not returned, then it's likely that whoever's left at the larger camp might be headed our way.
True.
Well, I'll ride out with Falk.
Okay.
I'm just trying to restore our trust bond that I savaged in adventures past. If you'll have me.
But I'll make mention, look so good.
I feel great.
Won a great victory yesterday.
There's
Yeah, how's the bouncing of the horse treating you?
there's no emotion to that statement when he says it. He's got a far off look.
What's your DC, John? We'll see how I'm actually feeling. I'll do a fort save here.
Oh, just keep from getting hungover.
Yeah, to see if I can push it down.
We'll do 16.
Dark one's own luck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm it's an obvious lie. Not a good first step forward in restoring our trust bond.
Well, it's probably a lie that's immediately punctuated by you
Right.
vomiting.
Yeah, so at points in our ride, I have to lean over the saddle and throw up.
So you're going to go to the big camp first?
Yeah, I think that's the one Cho'Gath suggested.
Okay. It takes you about 4 hours if you're just traveling normal speed.
Okay. We'd be on our horses, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
So we could probably push it a little bit.
Oh, am I going with you guys?
I don't know. Did you
Oh,
want
are
to
you?
go?
No.
Okay, so yeah, then just the two of us.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
when you start throwing up, I'll say, yeah, that's about the proper response for what happened yesterday.
I'll try to say something to restore my image, and that would downplay the horror of yesterday, but I can't actually get any words out. I'm still choking on vomit.
So, you'd like as much time as you're trying to make up by pushing the horses. You still got to take some time
Yeah.
for Rafe there, but you do gain a little bit of progress. You'll make it there in about. You'll save yourselves about 45 minutes, is what we'll say. The camp itself is, you can see where it used to be.
Okay.
There's nothing left of it there, though. All the tents are gone, or where you would assume tents would have been. Cook fires with ashes in it. It's not fresh.
Almost as if they left yesterday, or
Yeah, you can And it does seem a little hurried, right? There's some things that are left behind that you would imagine an army, even Whitecloaks, who seem to be fairly disciplined from what you saw at your the view of the last camp, probably wouldn't leave behind, right?
Okay.
I figure we should ride down there and see which direction they might have left in.
Yeah. We'll go down and see if we can figure out where they went. At least the general direction.
So they had traveled southeast, as it's very easy to tell. You'll have all the footprints, hoof prints, and wagon tracks to go from.
Okay. Well, we had reports they were going to be heading that direction anyway, didn't we?
Cho'Gath had mentioned that the murderer had told the commander to go south.
Okay. Do you want to check the small encampment, see if anyone's left there?
Yeah, might as well be safe.
Okay. That will take you another hour to get there. And when you get there, it's the same thing. So you see the hill that you guys had arrived to the day before. The day before. The pen is still up. It looks like, again, abandoned pretty quickly, right? No tents, no big supplies. You see, if you go through it, you'll see where Adina had pulled the
hitching post?
Hitching posts out of the ground to cause the initial distraction there.
Okay. Did it look like they headed south as well?
So it looks like they actually, you could see the tracks. They went from the small camp to the big camp, joined with them, and then southeast.
Okay. Well, I think we can go back and tell the villagers that.
All clear.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to go through the woods, which would probably be the quickest way, the same way that you returned last time, if you go normal speed, you'll make it in 4 hours.
I guess there's no real hurry on our way back.
Okay. What would you, Cho'Gath, like to do with your day?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Just gonna relax.
Dill does ask you for training that day.
No.
Okay. When you say no, he's going to ask you then, kind of the pleading kid voice, well, what am I supposed to do then?
Good question.
He does look better than he did yesterday, but...
All right, well, I'll tell you what. I'll instruct him in the forms.
Okay. He's more than happy to do that.
Need to get yourself a switch and be like, what is it, like boar rushing down the mountain?
Right.
If he doesn't assume the form correctly,
Snap his wrist or something.
Yeah, whatever's wrong. Like, no, foot further forward. That might actually be fun for you. And relaxing.
Yeah.
Adina, what would you like to do?
After I'm done healing the horses, I'll see if there's like any farmers that want to take care of them or something. But then I'll retire to my room for the rest of the day.
Okay.
I think after all the initial adrenaline's kind of died down, I'm starting to worry about the possible consequences to these actions that I did today or yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Hobbs, the innkeep and mayor says that he can
Maybe
easily find people who need horses.
Well, yeah, I don't know how good they'll be, though. They're burned to a crisp.
Yeah, well, and they are heavy war horses. Yeah. So...
putting them some sort of heavy labor or something.
Yeah.
As long as the farmer can keep from getting his face bit off.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't let other people approach very easily, any of the villagers. So after your day of training and rest and about 9 hours, 8.5, 9 hours right in there passes before you two get back, and you can let them know that that the camp is deserted.
Camp's been struck and they headed south.
Okay. Safe to tell the mayor that the trouble's probably past for now.
He takes that information and passes it around the village. Everybody's mood brightens, even if they're not feeling the best from the night before. So the next day, unless there's something else you guys wanted to do. Okay. So the next day, most of the day passes before you find yourselves sitting in the common room, light conversation amongst yourselves.
I'll take Cho'Gath aside, like catch him when he's leaving his room or something, and like, remember, no word on what I or my mistress are. Okay, thank you, Cho'Gath. You don't know. Also.
Right.
Okay. Gotta be careful with you Shinarans.
So as you guys are sitting around the common room and drinking, eating, talking, the door opens and a slender, small-boned woman dressed in a white dress has arrived. She has a cool, ageless face and a commanding but graceful presence. For those of you who recognize it, which anybody that's seen one, you've seen her before.
What would that
this is Sheena Seti. Have either of you two, Rafe or Falk, encountered Aes Sedai?
Well, they're not. They're not like.
I know they're not rare. I mean, you.
No, I mean in Tyr, they're not. I mean, they won't be run out of town, but they're not exactly
what type of
welcome.
knowledge do you figure it would be?
I would say it'd be like a one, like the base level Arcana, right? It's something to do with the one power, and you'd like to know that association of ageless face with Aes Sedai, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that I'm unaware of that.
Yeah, I'd say I'm completely unaware.
Maybe Great Serpent Ring if I saw it or something like that.
She's not wearing it.
Yeah.
So she walks in?
Yeah.
I will immediately jump up and curtsy.
Didn't murder a bunch of people.
No, I'll make my
Use
curtsies.
the one power as a weapon.
All right. Yes, she comes over to the table, and she nods and to you three says that she thanks you for assisting Adina on her journey.
It was my great honor.
And she appreciates your patience in the delay that it took her to get here as well. She says that, as you are no doubt aware, there is much afoot in this region, trouble enough to concern each of us. I fear that the rumors that you've most likely heard of villages being attacked are true, and there is a acquaintance of mine who has been taken by some invaders. There's a small town that's called Tobin's Hollow. It's a few days' travel west of here. Several months ago, I had gotten word that she was in some danger. I'd come out here and checked. That was when you'd seen her in Camelin. And unfortunately, she's been taken by these invaders to Toman Head.
It's the Tarboners. We ran into them.
It's not. If you're familiar with it, the city of Falmey has been taken by invaders from the sea.
Oh, that's what we heard.
Yeah, the sea folk.
Aes Sedai and their whelps.
As soon as you say that, she doesn't snap, but she firmly corrects you that these are no Aes Sedai.
Aes Sedai
But
can't
my
use
lady,
the power.
that's what we heard.
Weapon.
As these people, from what I can gather, claim to be descendants of Arthur Hawkwing and his army that went across the sea many, many years ago. And they've returned to, they say, take back what is theirs. But I also have urgent business elsewhere. So as much as I would like to recover my acquaintance or friend, I do not have time to do both. Would you three be willing to assist Adina in rescuing a companion?
Yes.
Okay. Falk?
I'll help.
And Rafe?
Yes.
Okay. You don't get a choice.
Yeah.
Adina. So she says that you'll be looking for a someone named Megda. She was last seen around Tobin's Hollow, and she was investigating the rumors that Aes Sedai or some other women that were channeling had attacked villages and wreaked havoc across Toman Head, much as you've already heard. She was given specific instructions not to get too close. Unfortunately, after she had initially reported her findings, all communication had stopped. Since her disappearance, I discovered that Falmey was invaded by a large host, and the city was taken, and surrounding villages are being invaded as well. The invaders are the ones that are using channelers to wreak havoc across the land. They also use strange beasts that fly, and some they ride like horses.
Are these shadow spawn?
Not as far as I can tell, as they may seem or have the look of something created by the Dark One, but they're nothing that I've heard of.
Shoggoth, have you heard of anything like that from the Blight?
No. We've heard rumors about these before, and they don't sound like any shadow spawn I know. Except for maybe Drakkar, they can fly, but they're not big enough to ride.
Yeah, back in right around the border of Toman Head, you guys had started hearing information about invaders riding dragon spawn around the coast.
Dragon spawn or shadow spawn?
Shadow spawn. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying dragon spawn. I don't even know where that's from. Yeah, so sorry, it's shadow spawn around the coast. She, upon your agreement, she states that she will need to leave immediately, as she will be going to. This is, I guess, more for Adina here. So she says that she's going to leave immediately. She appreciates your assistance. Asks Adina to join her in the room that she had reserved for you.
I'll curtsy and follow her.
Okay. So when you get there, she gives you a little bit more information. She lets you know that she'll be moving on to Tanchico in the morning. Says that there's matters of importance that she must see to as soon as possible. Once you've completed your mission, send word to her at the Inn of the Golden Cup. Do not tarry, because Magda Seti's life is in your hands.
I won't tarry, Sheena Seti. And I'll curtsy again.
She leaves you with. Give me just a second.
I think, is Sheena Seti just going to walk out after she gives the orders?
Not just yet. She gives you a sack. She lets you know that there's 500 marks in there for payment for your companions there. Also, there's an item that I need you to recover. Megda was communicating with the White Tower with a terangrial, as it's a small slate tablet. As if you can find it, retrieve it.
Yes, I said I don't know. I think if she turns to go at any point, I'll kind of hesitantly Sheena Seti. When we make it back to the tower, I believe that there's some penance that's in order for me.
She gives you a stare and says that that will have to wait, but we'll definitely address it.
But I don't say what.
Yeah, she doesn't know exactly what, but I mean, she's
the giant fire in the
figure with the coolness that they typically have. She's not going to look surprised or worried or anything. So just the kind of normal, calm face. But
yeah,
she understands that you're doing the right thing if you think that you had deserved it. So. She does ask if you need any time with her, though. So this would be your opportunity, since you haven't had much of a chance to learn any of the weaves that you should have had. Yeah.
Let's spend a day I'll agree to that real quick. Like, yes. And we'll spend maybe the rest of the day or something
Okay.
weave sighting everything.
Okay. Yeah, she's more than happy to help you out there.
All right. Let's see. How do I need to do it? Is there any things she won't teach?
Let me see that page real quick.
Other than, like, the obvious ones, like
Yeah.
Balefire.
She won't teach you grenade
Okay.
or blade of fire or fiery sword. She won't teach you ward bore either.
But I can learn Fireball.
Yeah, she'll instruct you in that.
All right. So it just seems to be a flat rate of 20 to learn it if I'm able to cast it, and 25 if it's a weave I can't cast.
Okay.
So I'll just go down the list.
Yeah, and you can even put a mark or a notation somewhere of things that you'd like to learn in the future, so that I can arrange how we're going to do that too.
All right.
I was using that kind of new discovering weaves on your own option. I think the second part of that option would be.
So how many would I be able to learn in a day?
Does it give a time limit?
Well, she would have weaves per day that she would probably...
How many does she got? So...
Sometimes the action itself does list how long it takes to do it,
That's true, too.
but there's never any that are like
Second
very
level?
long.
Are you second level
Yeah.
cast? Okay.
But I can learn up to third level
Up to
if
third?
I have all the affinities.
So anything beyond third, you can learn. She can cast 10 of those, third and up.
All right.
Anything second, she can cast another 5 second level. And then anything that she can do at a level 0 or level 1, she can do 10.
All right. So, if you want, can we keep going
Yeah.
while I just
Yeah.
roll this all out?
Yeah, go ahead
Montage it.
and roll. And so it was later in the afternoon when she had arrived. So you guys will have one more night here, and then she had already told you that it was to the west. It's about 3 days, though. If you ask Hobbs, he knows where it is. So he will happily gather provisions for you guys if you don't already have 3 days worth. And if you're ready, then you can set out.
Yeah.
So the 3 days passes very uneventfully, right? As you don't encounter a whole lot of people traveling back and forth. When you get about a few miles from where Tobin's Hollow should be,
Is she going to teach Rend?
if you want her to.
Yes. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. When you get a few miles a few hours outside of Tobin's Hollow, go ahead and make spot checks. Rafe,
17.
8.
Cho'Gath,
6.
and Adina.
16.
And Dill. Okay, so everybody except for Cho'Gath, as you're traveling, suddenly the shriek of a high-flying creature rings out from the sky above. You look up, and a huge beast glides through the air, circling in an ever-tightening spiral. It has mottled brown skin, a long, horny snout, and enormous leather wings. The creature, perhaps half a mile away, descends out of sight beyond the trees that line your muddy road. What would you like to do?
I didn't see it.
So
Did I see it? Sorry, I missed
Yes,
it. Okay.
everybody except for Cho'Gath.
I got an 8.
That was the, DC for
I
it.
rolled a 1. Still saw it. Okay.
It's a pretty large creature, and it's shrieking.
What's the toe rocking? Yeah, those are the big ones.
So, I suppose if I see it, I'll actually try and get Cho'Gath's attention
Okay.
and ask if that's one of the Drakars that he's mentioned are flying shadow spawn.
Adina, what was your check one more time?
16.
16. So you and Rafe, actually, you notice that there's something riding on its back, and it looks like baggage is bundled to it as well.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so Falk, how do you get his attention? And
Hey, Joga.
Yeah. Joker.
okay,
Roll your dice to get his attention.
all right. So
I'll poke
as soon
him in
as
the
he
back with my boar spear.
as soon as he points it out, you start to see it as it starts to go below the trees.
Okay.
Which she, what was it? You said ward boar, and okay, so like eavesdrop she'd teach.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can learn it.
What would you guys like to do?
Well, I'll just be taken aback. Like if we're in the process of writing whatever, I'll
Yeah.
Looks
You
like
know.
there's something on it.
yeah, I'll concur with that. They were right about the shadow spawn.
It doesn't look like any shadow spawn I've ever seen.
Well,
or
what else could
heard
it be?
of. Well, you make a good point. What else could it be?
It's the Dark One's razor. If it's not an animal you can identify, then it's shadow spawn.
Is, you guys gonna continue on?
Yeah.
So you continue on down the road here. You make it about half a mile, and then do listen checks. Rafe,
15.
Falk,
11.
and Cho'Gath,
19.
and Adina.
5.
Okay. So you all hear distant shouts and the clash of metal on metal. It's the sound of a fight, and it's coming from the woods to your left, perhaps a few hundred paces away. So you traveled about a half mile down the road and then started hearing this, and this is the same direction that had landed.
Well, I'll shout that if it is shadow spawn, we're honor bound to fight it, and I'll charge off in that direction.
Okay. Dill will follow you.
And I'll get my heavy lance in place and follow him.
I guess I'll ride after.
Okay.
Uncertain of how we're supposed to fight such a thing.
Stab it.
So, Adina, I assume you're going to?
Yes.
Okay. So, moving off to the left there, passing through the trees, within about 5 minutes, you make it into a clearing. You see a massive flying beast as a harness and a large basket-like saddle on its back, and it's in the middle of this clearing. Surrounding it, there are people unloading supplies and making camp. There's about a half dozen men in strange, colorful armor. Their helmets look very much like monstrous insect heads, with thin red plumes dangling from like feelers. Each man's eyes seem to peer out through crafted mandibles, while the helmets and armor are painted and gilded in bright colors. One of the soldiers, an officer perhaps, judging by the even more fanciful quality of his armor, stands speaking to another man in dark leather and chain, apparently the rider of the great beast. There's a thin woods that are surrounding the clearing. As you're coming through, a thick mist starts to push through the western side.
But no,
Very unnatural with the time of day it is.
no clashing of metal that we.
That was people sparring in the campground.
So we see a half a dozen people?
Yeah, there's about half a dozen people. There's a couple that are loading supplies. So six people, 2 unloading supplies. And then there's a pair that are sparring, 2 watching. I'm sorry, I guess not half dozen. And then the officer and 8 total, officer and then the rider.
Okay. Well, after seeing that beast and now their armor, it's clearly shadow spawn. Clearly.
What would you guys like to do?
Well, we have to
Continue
attack.
an attack?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll stop here for tonight for time's sake. And we'll pick up with an attack next time.
All right. Thanks, man.
This has been a Death Watch production. Thank you for listening.